So, but is there any other, okay. Well, besides her, is there any other nominees at this time?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay. All right, then I'll open up to Jen. Do you wish to have her present to ask questions?
I thought Janice Cook was going to be.
For her.
All right, Jay?
Guys, I'm on the, don't go with her. Yeah, she's in my room, I think.
Jay, you there? Jay Joyce?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. Jay, with the nomination, she's currently not on the phone or part of this meeting. Is there any questions you have for her? Do you want to postpone our vote till you have a chance to ask questions, or are you okay moving forward?
Based upon her email resume, which I have, she's been on the Friends of the Granby Library since 1981. She's been serving as the treasurer for them for over 20 years, starting in 1982. And Jen is going to submit her name, and I don't have a problem with it at all.
Okay.
Jen Crosby, that is.
All right.
And Jen Crosby submitted the email.
Yes. Okay. So at this time, that's the only nomination we have, and this is for the remaining part of this would be to the next election, which is May 17th. At that time, that person can decide whether or not they want to run for the remaining part of the term, which 1 year left in the term, which ends May of 2022. So that would be that
Correct.
person's right. That's that person's choice whether or not, if she is appointed, whether or not she wants to continue and run that position. So with that
Yeah,
said,
she wanted to do the position, the 1 year term, the 1 year term that was left.
right, she would actually have to run for that. So all we can do right now is appoint the person until the next election, which is scheduled right now for May 17th.
Not this year, because
Yes,
she's
this year.
finishing out someone else's year. And I believe
she
that-
actually- it's finishing up to this year until there's an election. At that time, there's an election that remaining on that term would be what she would be running for as part of the election.
I think I thought she had a year left, that she wouldn't come up for a nomination until 2022.
Right, see, so take the person out of it, that actual seat, the term expires in 2022, okay?
Yeah, okay,
Us-
okay.
Right, to us to fill that seat right now, all we're doing is filling the seat until the next election, which is May 17th. So at that time, if she is appointed this time, if she wishes to run, she can, and that, if elected, that term would end in 2022.
So in other words, she's good until the, what'd you say, March election?
May
May.
17th.
May,
Mhm.
and then she has to take out papers and,
Yes,
no, and, yeah, okay.
okay,
Okay, she has to take out papers now because I believe the papers close in March.
Right.
March 25th, I think.
Yeah, something like that. It closes in March, and there's no guarantee, depending on when we can have a large gathering for an election or a town meeting, when it's actually gonna be. The date is the third Monday in May, but just like last year, we didn't have our annual town meeting till, I believe it was 25 July.
Okay.
as of today, the next election is scheduled for May 17th. So that, could that
Okay.
change? That could change, but based on what we know right now, our next election is May 17th. So that position would be until May 17th. However, if the election happens after May 17th, she'll still be there until the election occurs.
Sure, okay.
Okay, all right. So with that said, the nomination has been presented. Our board, the select board, will vote on this now. I'll ask, yes, roll call vote. So we'll do a roll call vote. We'll start off with Jen Silva,
Silva, aye.
Mr. Joyce,
Jay Joyce, aye.
and Glenn Sexton, aye. For the select board, that's 3 ayes, indicating 3 yeses. Therefore, she's been approved by the select board.
So Glenn, she's basically a trustee until, you're saying until May, and then, but she has to run for the next term, a 3-year term?
Yes, the 1-year
Yes.
term, what is left on that term, yes.
Mhm.
So she can decide that time if she wants to run or not, that's up to her.
Thank you.
But then you should also make sure she contacts Kathy Kelly Regan, the town clerk, to get sworn in for the position as well, before she can legitimately vote at one of your meetings.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all. Right, yeah, so, right, so
And that
the
should happen as
library,
soon as possible.
so, right, hang on, so we can finish this now, okay? The select board has voted and has voted yes on that. Now, the library trustees need to vote as well.
I vote yes.
It's
Yes.
the same thing, it's a roll call vote, so the same thing that we did,
Oh,
just your name
Okay.
and whether yes or no, or aye.
okay, Leah Condon? Yes.
Okay,
Rita
Rita Peete,
Abbott.
yes.
so we're all set. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I thought I heard her vote, she was caller 1, Michelle. All right, we're all set there.
Okay, so we're good to go?
You're good to go. She needs to be sworn in by the
Yeah.
clerk. So Mr. Martin will contact Kathy Kelly Regan, let her know that she's been appointed to that position, and then she'll have to make arrangements with Kathy to be sworn in. Yeah,
Right, okay.
okay?
Okay,
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Okay.
bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Move forward, 5:15, Rita Abbott.
Hi, that's me.
Oh, I didn't see it. Sorry. Nina, so you want to address the board in regards to Forge Pond and the dam?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is there anything going on, whether it's select board or other town government, in terms of grants to repair the dam currently?
I don't know if we have.
Applications or
Yeah. I know we don't
reports?
have, I know we did some research on it, probably about a year ago or so. Probably at least that, right, Chris? Trying to think, it was a while back when they,
We had a engineer come in and file a phase 1 study on the dam. And
Okay.
as a result of that, we did the tree removal and started doing some other plan of action regarding the dam. We haven't moved into a phase 2, nor have we gotten a price of what it would cost to either repair or, as in the other option, to take down the dam. And I think we are at that phase right now. We haven't hired the engineer to do that at this point in time, but maybe at some point in the future, we'll be able to do so.
Okay. Would it be okay for, I'm a member of the Friends of Forge Dam Pond. Would it be okay for me or another member to talk to the engineer? Is his name Dave? In regards to filing grant applications, is that okay?
When you
Just-
speak to him, the engineer, it ends up costing the town money.
Well,
We'd have
what
to
if you
pay
just
for it.
want to speak to us, like as another friend of Forge Pond, or if, as a volunteer, would that be a problem?
I mean, if he's not acting as the engineer for us.
Right.
You know, I don't know if I don't know if he would, to be honest with you. I don't know that. But, you know, more as a conversation, but now if he's acting as an engineer and speaking as an engineer, in regards to the work that he did for the town. That's up to him personally.
Okay. So the phase 1 study, Chris, like what were the results of that study and why has the town not decided to go do a phase 2? I'm just wondering.
I think right now it's just based on money, appropriating money, whether or not we're gonna appropriate the money for it. With COVID and everything that happened this past year, a lot of things we got to kind of put on hold and things like that. Especially we passed the budget, we basically passed the budget to get us through the year without knowing what the state budget was gonna be and for us as well, so.
So is it okay for the Friends of Forge Pond to pursue any grants?
I mean, yeah, if you can find a grant that's out there that's feasible for the town and can help with that, absolutely.
Okay, all right,
Without a
thank you.
doubt. And if you brought something like that forward, we can actually, you know, see how we can help and working on it too. I mean, it's right now, we're just a spot right now with COVID and everything to move forward on some of the projects. So,
Right. Okay, well, thank you.
thank you. We have the study, right? We have what he gave to us. The engineers, that's something that we can, you know, get to Nita, so he wants to see it, you know, as part of the you know, the Friends of Forge Pond.
We can post it on the website.
Yeah. Why don't we kind of, maybe we can do that, and that way they have access to it, and they can read it. Okay. 5:30 is our next part of the agenda, which is the green community update. We do have 5 minutes to bring up anything. Chris, you have anything else to bring up at the time?
Not at this point. What else? You can start going through your new business items.
Well, I'm gonna see if we have any citizen participation at this time. I'll open up any citizen participation. Anybody from the audience that wants to speak at this time, address the select board? Okay. Well, didn't hear from anybody, and I don't see anybody in response. So don't take that as a no. Do you have any correspondence? Yeah, was there any correspondence or anything? No. Nothing. All right. Why don't we quickly go into departmental reports? Anybody, Jay or Jen, anybody have any questions, comments in regards to the departmental reports?
I have no comment.
Jen? No? No. Accept the motion to, a motion to accept the departmental reports this time?
I'll move to accept the departmental reports.
Is there a second?
I'll second Jen's motion.
Thank you, Jay. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Just some, I know last meeting, we were talking about the COVID vaccination and things like that with the Board of Health. And I did see, or actually heard on the radio, I think it was town of Munson. And then where they were, the fire department, and I hope it was Munson, I hope I'm not incorrect, but I could be, because I just kind of heard it on the radio this morning. But they were allocated for 100 doses of the vaccination, but then they were told that they won't be getting it. So that's something that, you know, I think if we talk about, I know we were talking about our town and stuff doing it, and that's something if you kind of prepare for it, like that town did, and then those kind of things were pulled back, where they didn't get their allocation or not getting their allocation of vaccination. So kind of, you know, kind of something the Board of Health was talking about last time. There are some factors that sometimes that come into play that are actually out of their hands. You know, 'cause they put some time and effort into the town, I guess from my understanding, put some time and effort into arranging it all, and then to find out not to have the vaccinations to do it.
Just so you know, I spoke with Dick Bombardier today, trying to address the people who are homebound. I guess we have about 50 residents who are homebound. The Board of Health has been in discussions with a lady in Amherst who is in charge of the vaccination program there, trying to figure out how we can get the people who can't get out the vaccines. I do know that the town of Amherst says that they can assist us with the shots, and they would have some of their nurses being able to give some of the shots. I know the Board of Health at one point was hoping that our own paramedics or EMTs with proper training would be able to assist in giving shots to the homebound residents also. I do know that Dick is going to be discussing it again, I believe, at his meeting tomorrow night, but they are addressing it, trying to make sure that our residents are being vaccinated in a manner according to their requirements of age and issues regarding susceptibility to the COVID-19 virus.
Well, that's good. Also, just so everybody knows, thank you for mentioning that, Chris, as well. The effort of the Board of Health definitely continues, and I know, they're looking at ways to get people vaccinated, the people that want to be vaccinated have that ability, especially our senior population. So it's good to hear that they're looking at options and working with other agencies to make that happen. All right, it's now 5:30. Move on to the update from the green community at this time.
There's really not a whole lot that we could say right now. On February 11th, which you all have a copy of the presentation, and there was a video link included, which we sent out. They are changing a lot of the green community requirements. Just some highlights. There will be two application periods per year, one in the spring, one in the fall. The requirement to get 20% reduction to receive more incentives has been changed. Now you only have to have a 15% reduction, but you must maintain it for 3 years. The 20% reduction was a 1 year, but the 15% is now for 3 years before you can get more incentives. With that being said, they had a whole bunch of changes. In fact, we just got one today on weather normalization for MEI, which is a big part of the micromanagement of the program itself. The Energy Committee is meeting on Friday to see how we can address all these new changes. And with that being said, Chris Martin and I had a discussion after the 11th, I believe it was on the morning of the 12th, we're submitting our final report for the current grant. And we talked it over and we said, there's no sense even submitting this final report for the grant because we're not going to be eligible for the April time period anyways. So it's better to get our ducks in order and make sure we get everything right with everything updated. And the Energy Committee will look at it at their meetings, put a list of things to do, and then we're recommending we will apply for the August period. They said the fall, but then they said the applications would open in August. But then they turn around later, if you listen to the video, they say, if you got it done sooner, you can submit it sooner. Basically, they're so backlogged, having one application per year, they just can't handle it. It was fine when you had a small amount of the 351 municipalities in the Commonwealth were in the green community, but now there's like 250 green communities out of the 351, some odd number like that, and they just can't handle it, so they're breaking everything up. And I don't doubt that COVID and money has something to do with it. They have some, again, these are just highlights. They have what's called the 750 Club now. If you've already received $750,000 in green communities, your awards will be limited to $100,000, which Granby is not in that boat, so we still qualify for up to $200,000. But then with the state being the way it is, they have what's called special projects, which you could get funded up to $500,000 on. And again, with those, it requires a lot of documentation and justification. So basically, I can see the green communities moving more towards the communities that have a staff to do this. Whether it's the Northamptons, the Springfield, the Chickapees that have full-time people doing this, because they're the only ones going to have time to meet all these requirements. But again, I'm just giving you the highlights. You have the same slides that I sat through the webinar. You have the video that I sat through. And going on from there is, say we're meeting on Friday, and then we'll try and take it apart and see where we stand and where we need to go. I don't know what else to say unless you have any questions.
I don't have any questions on it.
No, I don't either. The slides are pretty informative.
Yeah, if you listen to the video as well, they're more generic, but if you're involved with the process, you can read between the lines what they're doing. Because this program is micromanaging every green community in the Commonwealth to basically every quart of oil that's used in your community, every gallon of gasoline, every gallon of diesel, every kilowatt of electricity. You name it, you're micromanaged down all the way. So as I stated, when Chris and I talked, we have not closed out our current grant because there was really no need to close out our current grant. Because again, we wouldn't qualify for the April period as it is. We only need to close our current grant prior to applying for the August period or fall period.
Mr. Chair, to follow up what Jay is saying, we also have a conference call scheduled with DOER for tomorrow afternoon to discuss these changes and how they will affect Granby and how we can maybe go forward to continue participating in the Green Communities program and get our reimbursements as required.
And that information will pass on to the entire Energy Committee on Friday.
All right. Look forward to that information when it comes forward. Okay. Good handout. Well, thank you, Jay, and thank you to the committee as well. Definitely appreciate it as always. All right, next on our agenda is the warrants. Sir Martin?
We have one warrant, warrant number 50 dated February 12th, 2021, the amount of $1,593,996.43. I just want to let the board know that those aren't all bills. $700,578 of that is just moving monies between various accounts within the town.
Okay.
But I have to do it on a warrant in order to be able to, for the auditor's purposes.
Okay. So about
Thought I hit 800,000.
80,000, that's actually still paying. Okay. Is that the only one you have? Yeah. All right, then. Well, I'll entertain a motion to approve and sign maintenance warrant.
I'll move to approve and sign maintenance warrant number 50.
I'll second Jen's motion.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jen. All right. Any further discussion this time? Okay, not hearing any. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next on our agenda, we're going to discuss the chief of police hiring process.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
a couple of things before we talk about the hiring process. I have been out looking at the MMA website, looking for other police chief ads and how they go about doing it. There was about 3 of them out there, so I will be bringing those back to the board. However, Chief Wishart had a conversation with me today. He would like to change his proposed retirement date from May 1st to either July 1st or July 2nd. Okay. As part of the process, I believe the board should have a conversation with him as a contracted employee regarding the process to do this, and it should be a negotiation with a contracted employee and done in executive session, not here in public session. The chief has talked to me. We have a couple of options that were being proposed, and I believe the board should be able to fully explore both options with the board or with the chief prior to making it public knowledge. Chief, do you have anything to say on that?
No, I think that was it, Chris. Just looking to extend that, till, like you said, July 1 or July 2, and the rest of it, if that's agreeable, the rest of it we can talk about in executive session.
I don't have any reasons on that to let them stay on till then, to follow up on it.
So for our next meeting of March 1st, we will have an executive session to discuss the two options with the chief, and the board can choose which option they want to go with. Okay.
Jay, any thoughts, Jay? Anything?
Well, I'm gonna have to wait and see what's being suggested before I can make any kind of recommendation. I have no idea what's being suggested.
No, but I mean, moving forward with it too, because we do have a resignation at this time for a certain date. Do you have any concern with moving forward with this?
Oh, I stated before, we should have already started the search for the new police chief.
Okay.
I mean, he gave us a date of May the 21st now? Wasn't that what it was originally?
No, it was it was May 1st originally.
The May 1st, okay.
Yeah.
We gotta move forward.
Well, that's what we're doing right now. This was some new information to the board, so we'll follow up on that. So obviously we have till July 1 or July 2 possibly. Okay.
Can I just
Thank you, Chris.
Glenn, can I make one
Yeah.
comment?
Yeah.
Just maybe an unsolicited suggestion. While I definitely want to stay till that date, I would strongly suggest that you continue on with the process, and we could still get something in place, and that way people at the police department know what the process is going to be. You could even go through whatever process you decide, have it set, and just have it effective July 1 or July 2. I mean, this does buy some time for that, but I would take advantage of that. That would just be my suggestion.
Yeah, we're not, thank you, Chief, but we're not going to postpone what we're going to do. We're still going to start looking, but I do
Perfect.
appreciate that.
Thank
You
you.
just, all right, so well, with that said too, we need to start, Chris, you said you looked at some of the, I guess, postings that are out there.
On the MMA, yes.
Yeah.
And, they were fairly simple. There was one for a community our size. There was one for a larger size community and a medium size. And I will try and draft a want ad in accordance and then get it to the board for their approval prior to putting it out for publication.
Right, so I want to get some feedback from the board as well, in regards to the hiring process. My feeling on this is that this board can take this on, and I think we can do it. I think we can do it well. So instead of us going to an outside source, to have it done, I like to kind of keep it, if you will, in-house with this board. Same type of we did with the current fire chief that we have. So it's open for discussion. I think as a board, we should decide how we want to move forward with this process of hiring a new police chief for the town.
I have no problem with the select board making the final choice, as long as the choices we are allowed to get are from anywhere and everywhere. But we should get the best qualified for the residents of the town, whether they're somewhere else or here now. The best qualified wins, the bottom line.
And I would agree, Jay, and that's going to be our opportunity to wherever who wants to apply for it has that ability. Jen?
I agree. I believe that we can keep it in-house. Between the three of us, we have experience in hiring. We also, with you, Glenn, have experience in the law enforcement subject. So I do believe that we can successfully manage this in-house.
Well, I don't think we're all in agreement. Chris, so with that moving forward, if you could start the process as to what you can present to the board as to what would be in the, again, the want ad, and we'll, send it out, have it put out there, wherever we need to have it put, newspapers and, websites, our website, and wherever we need to have it placed.
I believe we could probably put it on the MMA in addition to the newspapers. Probably the Mass Chiefs and Police Association webpage. Chief, do you know if they put out ads?
They do. Yes, they do. And we can do that.
Okay, so we should go with the professional organization, things of that nature.
I think we get it out there as much as we possibly can and get it out there to have anybody who's interested in applying has the opportunity to do so.
Chris, you said that you had gone on and you'd seen 3 ads. What were the posting dates of those? I'm wondering what we should be expecting in terms of, are they recent?
They were recent. The farthest one back, I think, was January 19th.
Okay.
So within a 60-day period. Most ads on the MMA website run for about 60 days, and then you have to repost. So, like I said, there was 3 of them out there. I saw one a large community, one a extremely small community, and one a mid-size. So gave you a good variety of what people are looking for.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm sorry about that. This mute button on and off. So look at the calendar. Our next meeting will be March 1st. And Chris, you'll have that information for us that we can look at and go from there. We'll review it. If we think there needs to be anything added to it or subtracted from it, we can do it at that time and then go from there. And then really at that point in time, we'll probably really set up a timeline or time frame for us to kind of stay within, and how long that's got to be posted for, applications, resumes that are in, set up interviews and stuff like that. We should come up with a whole time frame as to when we want to have this process completed by, and expect we have a new chief in place. I would hope again maybe sometime or in March. Having time with the chief, depending what happens. So, yeah, that would be. So, well, that's good. All right, and seeing how we'll enjoy doing that so much, we'll have the opportunity to do our fire chief hiring process as well, because we know we have our intern chief right now.
The same thing here is I went out on the MMA website again, and I looked up ads. There was only 2 for fire chief. They both were about our size community. One dealt with a volunteer staff only, and another one had career and volunteer staffing. I went back and looked at our prior ad that we put out about 3 years ago. Again, what I will do is try and put together a advertisement that the board will put out looking for a new permanent fire chief. and go forward from there.
By saying that, I presume the actions between the town and the previous fire chief are now completed?
That's ongoing, Jay.
Oh, I didn't know. I just figured was this for hiring somebody now that it might be all done, that's all.
Chris, was one of the ads that you saw pertaining to the Belchertown fire chief? I know that one was just, no?
No,
Okay.
no, one was out in the Devons area, and I forget where the other one was. Sorry, Jay, I couldn't hear you. I have my speakers turned down. Sorry.
They was asking if everything was settled with the other fire chief. So that's ongoing. Is there feedback, or is it just the heating system making that noise? Oh, okay. No, I just want to make sure there's not feedback that's on the meeting here. So haven't heard anybody say anything in regards to it, so I'm assuming it's not, but it's good to know that Ben's hearing the same noise, so I feel better. All right. Oh, well, that's good to know. We have a letter from the building inspector.
That is in the folder in front of you, Glenn. At our last meeting, you asked us to get some more information regarding the alternate or assistant electrical inspector and regarding the incident regarding him and the building inspector. I asked the building inspector to put down everything in writing for us, and that's what you have in front of you right now.
Was that the same letter that was emailed to us?
Yes.
I didn't see any new information in it.
There wasn't, but I think Glenn wanted to know, how did it come to light? How did he find out about the issues, so on and so forth? And so I asked the building inspector to actually put down how it all transpired.
So more or less what I was looking for was more of what was a follow-up with the assistant electrical inspector, the reason behind it, which is what I was looking for. This is kind of basically the same information we had before.
What are you looking for? It's at the end of it, it says that he had a conversation with the electrical inspector as a result of the letter he sent. The electrical inspector was arguing with him about it and this and that, and finally acquiesced and paid what was being requested.
Glenn, are you looking to hear his side of the story? Is that what you're?
Yeah, like a response to it. So why this happened?
Well, then maybe we should invite him here to ask.
You know, I'm okay. Either we can do that, or even by email, just in reference to it. Because at this point, the board is considering terminating that position. So I think it's important that we have the other part of the information.
All right, I'll see if I can find his email address. I don't know. I know I don't have it. I'll see if there is one available.
All right. Well, maybe the building inspector may have it. It sounds like some of it took place during an email, so we can check on that. Right.
So we're gonna terminate.
Anything else, Chris, before we move on to our old business? Jay, Jen, anything before we move on to old business?
I would just ask, we're gonna terminate somebody,
Oh, all right. Our old business is our 202, or no? Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, you made a comment that we're gonna terminate somebody. I had no knowledge of that at all.
Well, it's not whether or not there was a complaint that was made, and the question is that we get all the information before that decision's made regarding the assistant electrical inspector.
I didn't even know we were even considering terminating anybody. That's why I asked at first. I heard.
Based on what we're reading, well, based on what we're reading here, I wouldn't say it's terminated. Well, it's removing that person from their position that they're appointed to. No, just based on the letter that I have here from the building inspector and the conversation that took place. So I'm looking for additional information in regards to it. Maybe terminate wasn't the correct word, maybe removing them from their appointment because they are appointed by this board to that position. Again, I just want to make sure we have all the information presented to the board before this board makes any decision on that.
Okay, because the only thing I've seen is, like Jen says, the letters that we get in correspondence or from the department reports.
Right, and there's some concerns regarding an inspection that was done. So that's the point that I've been looking to have that information from the assistant electrical inspector regards. So.
Okay.
All right. Is there any other? Have that. What about the 202 water main project? No update on it at all? Okay. All right, so we're status quo as far as that. Last
Yes,
update.
because the meeting that I had talked about attending, the webinar, isn't, I think, until the 24th.
Okay.
So after that, then hopefully we'll have some more information that we can share with the board as to an avenue to maybe assist us in getting the pipe installed.
All right.
Yeah, that's from 6 to 8 p.m. on the 24th of the month. I know that I signed up for it. Chris said he signed up for it. I know we forwarded it to you two. I don't know if you guys decided to sign up for it or not. It's up to you guys.
That won't be available, so.
I gave it to the Economic Development Committee as well. Okay, and I have no idea if any of them signed up for it or not.
Okay. All right. Anybody have anything else at this time? Chris? Jen? Jay? All right, well, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second Jen's motion.
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, folks. Thanks for joining in. Have a safe night. Joy, take care.
Good night, everyone.
This conference is no longer being recorded.